Hey, what's up guys? So the Harpies are getting more support and they just got added to Dueling Network, so if you want to try out, there's 3 new cards added. There probably will be more support in the future, but who knows. Keep in mind, some of these effects can change as, sometimes translations have problems. But yeah, there's 3 new cards just added to the Dueling Network, so you can, maybe play test, see how the deck does. But we're going to go over the 3 new cards and then talk about, what cards could work pretty well in Harpies. So first off, this is a new Exceed monster. It's Harpie's pet Mirage Dragon, so it requires 2 level 4 winged beasts. It can attack directly. During the end phase, you have to detach 1 material, and it has to have material to attack directly. But the effect is that your opponent cannot select any Harpie monsters you control as an attack target or a card effect. So, potentially you can just put a whole bunch of stuff on the field, and it's cool. Inzectors, what are you going to target? Nothing. You're only your own cards. But Inzectors, I mean, it's still relatively popular deck, but I don't think there's as many people playing that deck as there are players playing Dino Rabbit at the moment. But potentially this card could see some play. But the thing is, with Dark Hole legal, just Dark Hole, it's cool. I blow up your field. I didn't target anything. But, this card could see some play. I don't really know how good the effect of, you can't attack me, and he can attack directly. If it was all Harpie monsters you control could attack directly, that would be insane, because your opponent would basically have to destroy you by card effects. Otherwise, next turn, you're attacking them directly for game, pretty much. But, I think it'd be way too good in that aspect. But he is a dragon, and I'll get into some of the choices later on of what I think some cards are kind of good for the Harpie archetype. But I don't know. I really think that perhaps it might be funny to see some light sworn Harpies with the soul recharges and all that good stuff, just for the milling, because there's a lot of stuff that supports having Harpie cards in the graveyard. So let's get into the next card. This is Harpie Channeler. So basically, you discard a Harpie monster except for Harpie's brother to special summon 1 Harpie monster from your deck except for herself or Harpie's brother. You can only activate the effect once per turn, and if you control a dragon type monster, this card's level becomes 7. That's where I'm getting to with talking about the whole Chaos Dragon Harpies. I don't know, but if you have another dragon. I looked at Harpie's Dragon, and that was also a level 7 monster, so maybe rank 7s could work well in the deck. But I don't really see Harpie's Pet Dragon being too easy to get out. It seems like this card is kind of difficult to get out in the deck. But nonetheless, this is a quick XYZ. You make a quick Exceed monster for her, and also there is this card over here. This is Harpie Lady Sisters, and so drawing this card, it can't be normal summon or set. It can only be special summoned by the effect of Elegant Egotist, which we'll get into relatively soon. This is Hysteric Sign. This card is kind of where it's at right here. This is, I think, one of their best cards, but it's kind of conditional. So when this card is activated, you get to add 1 Elegant Egotist from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So that's what I was saying, milling it wouldn't be that bad. So during the end phase, if this card was destroyed this turn, add 3 Harpie monsters with different names from your deck to your hand, except for Harpie's brother. You can only use the effect of Hysteric Sign once per turn. So that's pretty interesting that you could add 3, but it has to be destroyed. What is it? During the end phase, this turn. So you pretty much have to destroy itself, but there are some things you can really use to take advantage of that. For example, there's something like Icarus Attack that could just destroy itself. You can just tribute to Harpie and then pop one thing of your opponent's and then pop your own Hysteric Sign. And there's also this card over here. This is Harpie's Hunting Ground. So when Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters is normal summoned or special summoned, destroy 1 spell or trap card on the field. All Wing Beast type, gain 200 attack and defense. So I think that you could use that Harpie's Hunting Ground, and you can pop your own stuff. So you can pretty much use it technically first turn. So I think that was pretty cool, but it is kind of conditional. But if you are successfully able to pull it off, that's a pretty nasty effect. Just cool. Let me just add 3 cards. Technically, it is kind of, I don't know if you want to really call it that big of a plus, because technically, if you could have popped your opponent's card, you're losing 1 card right there, and you already have to use Hysteric Sign, so it's only kind of technically a +1 or 2, I don't know, depending on the way you look at it. But you get to add the Elegant Egotist as well, so it could be +2. Again, depending on how you're using it and what your position is in, it can be +2. But if your opponent MSTs it for whatever reason and they're gonna Mind Crush you, I don't know. But I don't know, I really think this card has some potential, especially with the Hunting Ground, so you can pop itself. Adding a first turn, a bunch of cards in your hand is pretty nice. Then there's this card called Bird Face. I like how it looks so strange. But anyways, when this card is sent to the graveyard as a result of battle, you can add 1 Harpie Lady from your deck to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. Also, one thing I wanted to mention with the whole Harpies, let me just type in Harpie real quick. Harpie Lady 1, 2, and 3, these cards, they have the effect of this card's name is always treated as Harpie Lady. Some of them are only treated in the graveyard. When they say they're always treated as Harpie Lady, that means you could only play one number 1, one number 2, and one number 3 if you want to play all of them. They all count essentially as the same card, so you can't run 3 of number 1, 3 of number 2, 3 of number 3 because they are essentially all the same card. So if you can run 1, 2, and 3, or you can just run multiples of one of them if you want. But keep in mind, they're the same name. That's just something I need to touch upon because, I don't know realistically how good it'll be, but yeah, I think this is one of the best. This is Harpie Queen. I like the artwork on that card. But you can discard this card to the graveyard to add 1 Harpie's Hunting Ground from your deck to your hand. And while this card is treated as Harpie Lady while it is on the field or in the graveyard. So having it treated as, the Harpie Ladies is always good. So next card up that is pretty decent for the Harpie archetype is Elegant Egotist, which, works. You pretty much need to use it if you're going to use the Hysteric sign. So you can only activate this card when there are 1 or more face-up Harpie Lady on the field. Special summon 1 Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters from your deck. And let's get into Harpie Lady Sisters. So this is Harpie Lady Sisters, so can't be normal summon or set, so that means pretty much you don't really want to draw it. This card can only be special summoned by the effect of Elegant Egotist, so that's kind of a bummer. And it is level 6. I thought this card was going to be level 7, so somehow it would have more synergy with the Channeler, but unfortunately it's not. It's only level 6. So I'm not sure how many you would play of this, but like Elegant Egotist, you pretty much only use it for this card anyways, and you have to run Elegant Egotist if you want to play the Hysteric sign, because you have to add that card. So I don't know how meta it will be, but perhaps there'll be other cards that support it later on, and they'll release them in Dueling Network as well. And then there's this card, Triangle Ecstasy Spark, which is insane if you can successfully use it. It's like Cold Wave, but until the end phase of this turn, the attack of all Harpie Lady Sisters becomes 2700. Your opponent cannot activate any trap cards, and the effect of every trap card on your opponent's side of the field is negated. So you can still use traps, but your opponent can't. So that's pretty good. But the thing is, depending on what you're going to make, I mean, realistically, how many times are you going to have like triple Harpie Lady Sisters? I don't know how realistic that is, but it's technically possible. But yeah, that's Harpie Lady Sisters. She's got 1950 attack, but she's level 6. That's the problem with her. She doesn't have like too good attack, and she should be boosted up by 200 from this, but it's still relatively like not good as far as like meta. Then there's this other card, which again goes back to what I was saying. Which if you like throw this in Chaos Dragons, maybe someone will try it just for fun. I don't think it'll be like nearly as good as regular Chaos Dragons, but I don't know, for funsies you could try it out. But you can discard 1 card from your hand and special summon as many Harpie Lady cards as possible from your graveyard, and then when this card is removed from the field, destroy all the monsters that were special summoned by this card's effect. So hopefully they won't MST it. But yeah, you can just special summon all of them, and it's pretty much like backs to the wall. And it's an OTK card, but you're not going all in. Because I'd say you could discard Harpie Lady Sisters, you can discard Elegant Egotist, because this allows you to add it from your graveyard, so you don't really go minus when you discard it. Or you can definitely discard Harpie Lady Sisters, because I don't think drawing this card is too good. I don't think you're going to tribute for it, but you never know. It's available for you. So, I think this card, like I said, it might be okay if you're playing it in like a light storm variant, like just bam, special summon a whole bunch of Harpies, and maybe you can just OTK them. But I don't know. If you're playing Chaos Dragons, that deck is pretty easy to OTK it with anyways, because you have like access to like a whole bunch of exceeds now. I know, what is it? Is it the Exit Beetle or Exit Stack? One of those. It really helps with the OTKs. Next up, Harpie's Pet Dragon. I'm not sure how viable this card is, but it seems like it's trying to have synergy with the Harpie Channeler, which is making stuff level 7 if you have a dragon type. So I'm not sure how many Harpies you would need in the graveyard to really make this card effective. It seems like you would at least need 2. I'd say 26 is pretty decent. Plus you have this though. But it does not gain, does it gain only Winged Beast? Yeah, this is unfortunately a dragon. It should be dragon plus Winged Beast. It should have like, what is it, Dark Simorg's effect, where it's also treated as like dark and wind. But this one should be like, it should be a dragon and a Winged Beast. That way it gets the bonus effect of Harpie's Hunting Ground. But yeah, these are some cards that will be decent if you're looking to try out a new deck. Well, it's kind of an older deck, but just more support for it. But I'm not sure how viable this card is. let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the Harpie archetype as of now. Like, now that we've got these cards, do you think it'll be good? Personally, for me, I just don't think it's that great. I mean, the best combo looks like maybe maybe discard this, add one of these, activate this, summon a Harpie. Well, activate this first, add an Elegant Egotist, and then pop it, and then you get to add 3 Harpie monsters. So, even with all that advantage, I was thinking like you could possibly run stuff like really old cards. Let me show you some of these old cards that you might not be familiar with, that used to be meta. I'm not sure if Trap Jammer was really ever meta. I know Magic Jammer was pretty meta. Magic Jammer, and there's also, I'm not sure if this card was really meta, but there's this card called Divine Wrath, which is basically, when a monster's effect is activated, you get to discard 1 card and negate the activation. If you do, destroy that monster. And Magic Jammer negates any spell card, but you have to discard. So going back to just the discarding, like it'll give you cards just to discard with when you add them for free with Hysteric Side. Like you can add cards that you don't want to draw, or maybe you already have the field spell. You can add. Does it have to be Harpie? What is it? It's 3 Harpie monsters, so that it doesn't have to be Harpie Lady. Harpie monsters and Harpie Lady, yeah, because this one requires Harpie Lady Sisters, so that won't count for this card because this only counts as Harpie Lady. There's a lot of stuff you got to read into. Make sure you read those because, yeah, Harpie Lady is not the same as Harpie Lady Sisters, but all the Harpies, like these ones where they say this card is always treated as, yeah, keep that in mind too. This card's also not too bad. I think on the OCG artwork, her chest armor had spikes on it, but I guess they took that out on Dueling Network. Usually Dueling Network uses OCG art, but yeah, this card name is treated as Harpie Lady. So I'm pretty sure this one is another one of those where like it still counts as Harpie Lady, so you can't run 3 of her and 3 of Harpie Lady number 1. Which is kind of strange, because this one says always, and this one just says it's just name is treated as that. Then there's ones that say it's only in the graveyard. They really need to just like fix all these like rulings and like problems in Yu-Gi-Oh! But that said, maybe in the future they'll reprint these. Hopefully they will, and hopefully they'll reprint it with the good artwork. None of the new TCG artworks. They need to reprint the old artwork. It looks way better. Because if you guys look, what is it? I actually want to. What's it? Is it this one? This card in the TCG. She actually has like a blue like wetsuit underneath. I don't want to call it like a skin suit. But now in the OCG, actually in the English, they did print this card out for a while like this, as you can see in the picture. But they did change it so she had blue like blue undersuit. Like you can look at Harpie Girl, just like Google it, and I'm sure you go to images, you'll see the both artworks. But I think she has pretty good artwork, but not as good as, hold on, what is that card called? It's all about this card. Yes, that's the best fairy. It says it's a fairy right here, clearly. It says it's a fairy, but apparently it kind of looks like it's an insect with those wings, but then it's a beast. But it's not a very good card. And what's funny is this card never came out in any pack except for a tournament pack. I think it was a tournament pack. And I think the same thing with Netwotk. I don't think either one of these cards ever got reprinted. But don't worry, these cards aren't meta, and they have nothing to do with Harpies. But I just wanted to talk about artwork and cards. But anyways, hope this was fun for you guys. And if you're interested in checking out Harpies, maybe you can understand you know, a little bit about how the deck plays, and perhaps again you can mix something in that just mills cards, or you know, different you know, ways to play the deck. This card is one of the best cards, by the way. I didn't really talk about it much, but I figured because, you know, Blackwings was a deck. This card was originally for Harpies. It wasn't for Blackwings, but Blackwings utilized it really well. But anyways, hope this helps you guys out. But thanks for watching. Asian Eyes signing out.